So now it appears that Walt Disney's Robin Hood will be the latest classic adapted to live action, and not Hercules like many people, including myself, thought it would be. I was going to do this video a while ago, but because at the time I didn't know how they were going to do this. Were they going to do it CGI or were they going to do it live action? And my thought was I was going to give two choices, one for the live action role and one for the voiceover work if they do CGI. But I kind of got really overwhelmed because there were so many actors that I was picking and I couldn't really decide who I thought would be better for the live action or better for the voice. So the video just kind of fell apart. But now we have confirmation that this will be just like the original and have anthropomorphic animals in it, a la Zootopia. So yes, it is another live action remake that isn't live action. But let's just hope that this isn't a shot-for-shot remake and they actually put some thought process in there with some heart and some really developed characters this time. But I would love to see Disney do their own version of Robin Hood. I think it is a great property for them and I think it has a lot of potential. So in thinking of the cast for this, I started thinking about actors who I thought could play both versions of the character, whether they do it in a live action capacity or if it is a full CGI movie. So here are my picks for who I think should be cast in the live action remake of Walt Disney's Robin Hood in this edition of Casting Couch. For Friar Tuck, an actor that just screams the role to me is Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen is one of the most respected actors today, and to me, he just screams Friar Tuck. I think that would be a fantastic role for him. For Sir Hiss, Prince John's pet snake who kind of has like hypnotic abilities, I think Benedict Cumberbatch would be a great choice. Benedict Cumberbatch is a phenomenal actor who actually does have some kind of hypnotic presence. Every time he is on screen, he just totally captivates the audience with his presence, but I think he would be great as Sir Hiss. For Prince John, the crybaby kind of pseudo-ruler of the times, an actor that I've always liked and I think would do really good in the role is Jude Law. I think he's an actor who can really master that crybabiness of Prince John. It's something we've never really seen him play, so I would love to see if he can play that type of comedic character. And I honestly think that he could do it. King Richard is a very small role, he only really shows up at the end, but I think you could have a lot of fun with this. And an actor that I would, without a doubt, pick is Patrick Stewart. Not only does he have that kingly voice, but he played King Richard in Mel Brooks' Robin Hood Men in Tights, which I think that would be a nice little nod, to people who remember that movie, which a lot more people should these days. But I think it'd be a nice little cameo and a nice remembrance for fans. For the Sheriff of Nottingham, without a doubt, Tom Hardy. I've always envisioned the sheriff as being very cutthroat and very fierce and kill you just as much as look at you. He is a powerful presence, and Tom Hardy has the presence enough to match that. I always felt that Tom Hardy was kind of destined to play the Sheriff of Nottingham. I think that would be a terrific role for him and a fantastic performance as well. Maid Marian was the hardest for me to cast because even though she is integral to the plot and a lot of the conflict in the movie surrounds her, she is more or less the damsel in distress, and the damsel in distress isn't really a sought-after role these days. And I didn't want to cast anybody just to be cast as the damsel. I think the part would have to be kind of beefed up a little bit more and have a more profound impact on the film, and she has to be somebody that can keep up with all the action and everything that's going on around her. And the only actress that came to mind was Karen Gillan. I think she would make an amazing Maid Marian. Obviously, I loved her in Avengers, and she was really funny in Jumanji. But she has all the skills and qualities for a role like this, especially if they give the character more to do. For Little John, kind of like how Tom Hardy in Sheriff of Nottingham, an actor that I think was born to play this role is Idris Elba. Everything about Little John just speaks Idris Elba to me. I think he's very likable and has a contagious personality that just kind of makes everyone say, I want to be his friend. I want to be his friend. Not only could Idris Elba play the part, but he is physically imposing as well, so he could also fill that part. I've talked about actors in roles before who I think should definitely play it, like without a doubt, they should be the one cast for the part. And add Tom Hardy and Idris Elba to that list. I think they would make an amazing Sheriff and Lil Jon. If I were making this movie, those would be the first two people I contact. For Robin Hood, I was really having a lot of trouble finalizing my thoughts on who I would cast. And an actor that came in and that just kind of wouldn't leave my mind is Charlie Hunnam. As many of you know, I'm not big into Sons of Anarchy, but he was one of the two performances in there that really, really stuck with me, and I remember. And he was good. He was really, really good. He's a really solid actor. And I could totally see him in the role of Robin Hood. I think he could absolutely pull it off, and I think it would be an amazing performance. But there you go, guys. There are my picks for who I think should be cast in a live-action remake of Robin Hood, or whatever it is they're going to do, the CGI, so it's not really a live-action remake. But anyway, that's who I would pick. Be sure to comment below, let me know what you think of my picks, and let me know who you would cast as well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon. And as always, I will see you in the next episode.